There is a great hunger for the truth in America and the restoration of that truth. Wherever the chips fall, just tell us the truth. It explains so much. When you start to restore history and put it in its rightful place, you begin to see how we got here. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about my second favorite founder, Benjamin Franklin. I didn't know much about this guy. I mean, everybody knew that he flew a kite, right? And that's what all of our kids, oh yeah, he went out, flew a kite, and he invented a lightning rod. You might have known that he was an ambassador, right? Did you know he was a spy? I didn't know he was a spy. He's the guy with the militia. He did the first political cartoon in America. Did you know that? I mean, this guy was truly, truly amazing. So tonight we're going to learn about Ben Franklin. If Ben Franklin were a politician, they'd kill him today. He would be the poster child. Anybody who thinks that I'm a hate-mongering conservative, oh, you haven't met him yet. There's no way Ben Franklin could ever run for office and win. This guy was loved all around the world. He could have run in France and won. I don't know about England. For a while there, maybe, but then they were afraid of him because he was amazingly powerful and wildly smart. Imagine for a moment what would happen to a politician, especially a conservative, if he said this about the poor and poverty. Look at this. I think the best way of doing good to the poor is not making them easy in poverty, but leading or driving them out of it. In my youth, I traveled much. I observed in different countries that the more public provisions were made for the poor, the less they provided for themselves and, of course, became poorer. And on the contrary, the less that was done for them, the more they did for themselves, and they became richer. That only makes sense. The more you do for somebody else, the less they're going to do for themselves. Media matter, geeks dream of quotes like this from a politician. They're just like, oh, please say something about the poor and how you want to make them uncomfortable. But it's true. Today, all it takes to be labeled a hate monger is proposing a smaller budget, which is still an increase, smaller than the increase from the other guy. You're a hate monger. Yet here is Ben Franklin advocating that doing less for the poor is better. Even if you agree, that probably sounds radical, but it wasn't. We're bombarded with the messages that generosity is expanding government. That's where true charity comes from. Extending welfare, raising the minimum wage, giving away free internet. Here's some concert tickets. I mean, what else do we have to give people? But Franklin's ideas were not, at least most of them, were not radical. They were common sense. Some of them were radical.
Whoa! Now I'm rolling in my grave. As I was known to say, half a truth is often a great lie. Is that the motto of Fox News? Off the top of my head, I can think of 3 virtues you habitually violate: humility, moderation, and sincerity. And when I see you in your designer shoes, I wonder about your frugality. You remind me of one of my favorite sayings: we are all born ignorant, but one must work hard to remain stupid. You selectively quote me to feed your demagoguery. Do I believe in endless wealth being distributed to the poor? No. But I did repeatedly mention our need to provide assistance to the poor. Do you recall me saying, the church, the state, and the poor are 3 daughters which we should maintain, but not portion off? Do you think I admired the self-absorbed rich such as yourself? Do you think I admire a man who purposely works his supporters into a lather with breathless hysteria and phony tears? Did you miss me saying, if passion drives you, let reason hold the reins? For all you Beckerheads in the audience, keep this saying of mine in mind: believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
I mean, really, it's all about the Benjamins. That's all you think about with Benjamin Franklin, the kite, and he's on the money. But there's a lot missing in what's taught about our founders like Franklin. Did you know that Ben Franklin, who hated the poor so much, he created the nation's first hospital? Pennsylvania Assembly didn't want to do it. The idea was about to die, and Franklin said, okay, wait a minute. We got to have a hospital. He issued a challenge. He said, how about if I raise half the money? If I can raise 2,000 pounds from private citizens, this was an impossible feat at the time, you have to raise the other, and you match the funds. The assembly think that they just hit the lottery because this guy's never going to be able to do it. Nobody is going to say, oh yeah, let me give money to build a hospital, you know, because people are hate mongers. They took him up on that, and he did it. That hospital is still operating today.
Well, damn! The private sector asking government to pay for half of public health care? That's worse than that guy Obama was calling a socialist Nazi. That's got to make me the first Marxist in America.
Wandering the streets of Philadelphia. Oh, what a hate monger he is.